Someone speaks to you in English. You understand perfectly, but you cannot reply fast. You need time to think. You need time to translate. You need time to build the sentence. The conversation moves on. You missed your chance to speak. This happens every time. You are too slow to reply. Today, we fix this. You will shadow natural responses, fast responses, automatic responses, responses that come out immediately without thinking. Let's begin right now. Why you reply slowly. You reply slowly because you are creating sentences from scratch every time. You think of what to say, you translate it, you build the grammar, you choose the words. This takes time. Native speakers don't do this. Native speakers use automatic responses, phrases they have said thousands of times. These phrases come out immediately. No thinking, no translating. Automatic. You need the same automatic responses. You need phrases that come out fast without thinking. Today, you will shadow these phrases. Repeat them many times. Make them automatic. Then you can reply fast in conversations. Let's start with the most common responses. Category 1. Agreement responses. When someone says something you agree with, you need fast responses. Native speakers use the same phrases over and over. Shadow these agreement responses 3 times each. I agree. Shadow, I agree. Again, I agree. Once more, I agree. Good. That makes sense. Shadow, that makes sense. Again, that makes sense. Once more, that makes sense. Perfect. You're absolutely right. Shadow this, you're absolutely right. Again, you're absolutely right. Once more, you're absolutely right. Good. I was thinking the same thing. Shadow, I was thinking the same thing. Again, I was thinking the same thing. Once more, I was thinking the same thing. Excellent. Exactly. Shadow this, exactly. Again, exactly. Once more, exactly. Perfect. 5 agreement responses. All 5 together now. Repeat after me. I agree. That makes sense. You're absolutely right. I was thinking the same thing. Exactly. Good. Now alone, fast responses. Excellent. These responses show you are listening. They encourage the other person to keep talking. Practice until automatic. Category 2. Interest and encouragement responses. When someone tells you something, you need to show interest. Fast responses that keep the conversation going. Shadow these interest responses 3 times each. Really? Shadow. Really? Again. Really? Once more. Really? Good. That's interesting. Shadow. That's interesting. Again. That's interesting. Once more. That's interesting. Perfect. Tell me more. Shadow, tell me more. Again, tell me more. Once more, tell me more. Good. Oh, wow. Shadow, oh, wow. Again, oh, wow. Once more, oh, wow. Excellent. No way. Shadow this, no way. Again, no way. Once more, no way. Perfect. 5 interest responses. All 5 together now. Repeat after me. Really? That's interesting. Tell me more. Oh, wow. No way. Good. Now alone. Fast responses. Excellent. These responses show you are listening. They encourage the other person to keep talking. Practice until automatic. Category 3. Quick question responses. In conversations, you need to respond to questions fast, not with long answers, with quick, natural responses. Shadow these quick question responses 3 times each. Good question. Shadow, good question. Again, good question. Once more, good question. Good. Let me think. Shadow, let me think. Again, let me think. Once more, let me think. Perfect. I'm not sure. Shadow this, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure. Once more, I'm not sure. Good. Maybe. Shadow, maybe. Again, maybe. Once more, maybe. Excellent. It depends. Shadow this, it depends. Again, it depends. Once more, it depends. Perfect. 5 quick question responses. All together now. Repeat after me. Good question. Let me think. I'm not sure. Maybe. It depends. Good. Now alone. Fast. Excellent. Very nice. These responses give you time to think. They are not the full answer. They are the first response. Then you can give more details. Category 4. Polite disagreement responses. Sometimes you disagree. You need polite, fast responses. Not rude, not aggressive. Polite disagreement. Shadow these disagreement responses 3 times each. I see what you mean, but... Shadow. I see what you mean, but... Again. I see what you mean, but... Once more. I see what you mean, but... Good. I'm not so sure about that. Shadow. I'm not so sure about that. Again. I'm not so sure about that. Once more. I'm not so sure about that. Perfect. That's one way to look at it. Shadow. That's one way to look at it. Again. That's one way to look at it. Once more. That's one way to look at it. Good. I have a different perspective. Shadow. I have a different perspective. Again. I have a different perspective. Once more. I have a different perspective. Excellent. Maybe, but have you considered... Shadow this. Maybe, but have you considered... Again. Maybe, but have you considered... Once more. Maybe, but have you considered... Perfect. 5 polite disagreement responses. All 5 together. Repeat after me. I see what you mean, but... I'm not so sure about that. That's one way to look at it. I have a different perspective. Maybe, but have you considered... Good. Now alone. Fast. Very nice. These responses help you understand without stopping the conversation. They show you are engaged. Practice until automatic. Category 5. Clarification responses. Sometimes you don't understand. You need fast responses that ask for clarification without saying, I don't understand every time. Shadow these clarification responses 3 times each. Sorry, could you repeat that? Shadow. Sorry, could you repeat that? Again. Sorry, could you repeat that? Once more. Sorry, could you repeat that? Good. What do you mean by that? Shadow. What do you mean by that? Again. What do you mean by that? Once more. What do you mean by that? Perfect. Can you give me an example? Shadow this. Can you give me an example? Again. Can you give me an example? Once more. Can you give me an example? Good. I didn't catch that. Shadow. I didn't catch that. Again. I didn't catch that. Once more. I didn't catch that. Excellent. Could you explain that again? Shadow this. Could you explain that again? Again. Could you explain that again? Once more. Could you explain that again? Perfect. 5 clarification responses. All together now. Repeat after me. Sorry, could you repeat that? What do you mean by that? Can you give me an example? I didn't catch that. Could you explain that again? Good. Now alone. Fast. Very nice. These responses help you understand without stopping the conversation. They show you are engaged. Practice until automatic. Category 6. Conversation continuation responses. These responses keep conversations flowing. They bridge gaps. They move to the next topic. Fast, natural transitions. Shadow these continuation responses 3 times each. And then what happened? Shadow. And then what happened? Again. And then what happened? Once more. And then what happened? Good. So what did you do? Shadow. So what did you do? Again. So what did you do? Once more. So what did you do? Perfect. How did that go? Shadow this. How did that go? Again. How did that go? Once more. How did that go? Good. That reminds me of something. Shadow. That reminds me of something. Again. That reminds me of something. Once more. That reminds me of something. Excellent. Speaking of which. Shadow this. Speaking of which. Again. Speaking of which. Once more. Speaking of which.
Perfect. 5 continuation responses. All 5 together. Repeat after me. And then what happened? So what did you do? How did that go? That reminds me of something. Speaking of which. Good. Now alone. Excellent. These responses keep conversations alive. They show interest. They create natural flow. Practice daily. Category 7. Ending conversation responses. You need fast, polite ways to end conversations. Not awkward silence, not walking away, polite, quick endings. Shadow these ending responses 3 times each. I should get going. Shadow. I should get going. Again. I should get going. Once more. I should get going. Good. It was nice talking to you. Shadow. It was nice talking to you. Again. It was nice talking to you. Once more. It was nice talking to you. Perfect. Let's catch up later. Shadow this. Let's catch up later. Again. Let's catch up later. Once more. Let's catch up later. Good. I'll let you go. Shadow. I'll let you go. Again. I'll let you go. Once more. I'll let you go. Excellent. Talk to you soon. Shadow this. Talk to you soon. Again. Talk to you soon. Once more. Talk to you soon. Perfect. 5 ending responses. All together now. Repeat after me. I should get going. It was nice talking to you. Let's catch up later. I'll let you go. Talk to you soon. Good. Now alone. Fast. Very nice. These responses end conversations politely, naturally, without awkwardness. Make them automatic. Complete response set practice. You now have 35 fast responses, 7 categories, 5 responses each. These are the most common responses in English conversations. Let me give you the complete set. Shadow all 35 responses. This is your complete fast response toolkit. Agreement. I agree. That makes sense. You're absolutely right. I was thinking the same thing. Exactly. Shadow all 5 now. Interest. Really? That's interesting. Tell me more. Oh wow, no way. Shadow all 5 now. Questions. Good question. Let me think. I'm not sure. Maybe. It depends. Shadow all 5 now. Disagreement. I see what you mean, but I'm not so sure about that. That's one way to look at it. I have a different perspective. Maybe, but have you considered? Shadow all 5 now. Clarification. Sorry, could you repeat that? What do you mean by that? Can you give me an example? I didn't catch that. Could you explain that again? Shadow all 5 now. Continuation. And then what happened? So what did you do? How did that go? That reminds me of something. Speaking of which, shadow all 5 now. Ending. I should get going. It was nice talking to you. Let's catch up later. I'll let you go. Talk to you soon. Perfect. 35 fast responses. You shadowed them all. Now you have automatic responses for any conversation situation. Your daily practice routine. Practice these responses every day. Not all 35 every day. Choose one category. 5 responses. Shadow them 10 times each. 50 total repetitions. Monday, agreement responses. Shadow 10 times each. 50 total repetitions. Tuesday, interest responses. Shadow 10 times each. 50 total repetitions. Wednesday, question responses. Shadow 10 times each. 50 total repetitions. Thursday, disagreement responses. Shadow 10 times each. 50 total repetitions. Friday, clarification responses. Shadow 10 times each. 50 total repetitions. Saturday, continuation responses. Shadow 10 times each. 50 total repetitions. Sunday, ending responses. Shadow 10 times each. 50 total repetitions. One category per day, 5 minutes, daily practice. In 30 days, all responses will be automatic. Then you will reply fast in conversations. No thinking, no translating, just automatic, natural responses. How to use these responses. These responses are not complete answers. They're conversation tools. They give you time. They show engagement. They keep conversations flowing. Use them at the beginning of your response, then add more details if needed. Example, someone asks, "What do you think about this idea?" Fast response, "Good question." Then you add, "I think it has some interesting points. Let me consider the details." The fast response bought you time, showed you are engaged, then you gave your real answer. This is how native speakers respond. Fast, automatic phrase first, then the real content. Practice this pattern now. I will ask questions, you give fast response first, then add one more sentence. What did you do yesterday? Fast response plus one sentence. Go. Good. Do you like your job? Fast response plus one sentence. Now. Perfect. What are your plans for the weekend? Fast response plus one sentence. Go. Good. How do you feel about learning English? Fast response plus one sentence. Now. Excellent. What's your opinion on social media? Fast response plus one sentence. Go. Perfect. 5 questions. You used fast responses first, then added content. This is natural conversation flow. Practice this pattern daily. Fast response first, content second. Your reply speed will improve dramatically. Final practice. Let's finish with speed practice. I will give you situations. You give the appropriate fast response. Immediately, no thinking. Someone agrees with your opinion. What do you say? Respond now. Good. Someone tells you interesting news. Respond now. Perfect. Someone asks you a difficult question. Respond. Go. Good. You need to disagree politely. Respond now. Excellent. You didn't understand something. Respond. Go. Perfect. You need to end the conversation. Respond. Now. Incredible. 6 situations, 6 fast responses. You are ready for real conversations. These 35 responses will change your conversation speed. Shadow them daily. Make them automatic. Soon you will reply as fast as native speakers. Not because you think faster, because you have automatic responses, just like native speakers do. Start tomorrow. Choose one category, shadow 10 times each, 5 minutes daily. 30 days, fast replies forever. Thank you for practicing with me today. Your fast response training begins now. See you next time.